Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about tariffs, trade wars, and Trumpiness. As we talked about yesterday, the wealthy in the United States were relieved by the selection of Bessent for Secretary of the Treasury Department. The wealthy believed Bessent would curtail Trump's fascination with inflationary tariffs and stop him from making mistakes that would harm the U.S. economy. The think pieces went out, and everybody relaxed. Well, somebody must have read some of the articles to Trump, and Trump apparently didn't like the idea of people thinking that he could be controlled or influenced. He set out to prove that he wouldn't listen to people smarter than himself. I feel like somebody mentioned that might happen. Less than 24 hours after the relief set in, Trump announced that he would immediately impose a 10% tariff on China and 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada. That's only 3 countries. How bad could it be? Those 3 countries make up about 40% of U.S. imports. So, get ready for almost half of all imports to go up in price. That will surely fix inflation. Another interesting development here is that 2 of the 3 countries are part of the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement. That's a free trade agreement that was negotiated by Trump himself. Whether intentional or not, this sent out a message to every country in the world. U.S. trade agreements aren't worth the paper they're printed on. Incidentally, the price of paper is about to go up. Officials from Mexico, Canada, and China have all issued responses, and unsurprisingly, it looks like we're headed into a trade war. The response from Mexico's president was the most interesting, and she signaled a willingness to impose tariffs of her own. She also laid out the basic economics of tariffs, saying, quote, "It is unacceptable and would cause inflation and job losses in Mexico and the United States." She indicated that the biggest loser would be General Motors. She's wrong about that. The biggest loser will be the American consumer. Then it will probably be General Motors. She correctly pointed out that, quote, "One tariff would be followed by another in response, and so on until we put at risk common businesses." Taking it a step further, she pointed to failed U.S. foreign policy as a root cause for the issues, saying, quote, "If a percentage of what the United States spends on war were dedicated to peace and development, that would address the underlying causes of migration." Being the world's EMT sounds nice. While Trump going off the rails and damaging the economy, and the response leading us into a trade war was completely predictable, there was also an interesting development on the other side of the Atlantic. Germany's economic minister came out of nowhere to signal that Europe wasn't going to overlook Trump's bad policies. He said, quote, "We have to be prepared for the fact that something similar could also happen to Europe or Germany." And then added, "The EU must react to this in a united manner." He said it must be made clear that everyone loses, including the U.S. It looks like they're going to heavily retaliate this time. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.